I'm here with the amazing creator, Miss Summer Chamblin, right? Okay. So, um, Miss Chamblin, so you are no newbie to building identity and starting a business. What was your starting point as an entrepreneur in general, and was it easy to establish a brand?
Well, my first business was actually when I was about 10 years old. I had an online brownie company. But my first real, sorry, let me mute everything.
That's okay. That's all right.
And it's my mom as well. Okay. Yeah, so my first real business, I would probably say is Summer Sweet Treats, which I started I want to say like officially when I was like 16 years old.
Mhm.
Both my parents are in business, so I definitely had people helping me understand um, everything that I needed to do in the business area. And I kind of watched my parents with their own companies growing up. So it was kind of instilled into my head, but I've always had an entrepreneurial drive since I was very, very young, whether it was slime or cookies or brownies or selling pastries at my mom's closet cleansing sale. I was always very driven to be my own boss. I'm a little hard headed and stubborn. I don't want to work for anyone else. I like to make my own hours. I like to work for myself, and I want to get all the rewards from like something I'm pouring my heart into. The why for this company is a little bit different from my other businesses. This company, Summer Hope Beauty, is the biggest project I've ever done. This is a labor of love for sure. I've been battling health issues for the past 6 years, and I used to have hair down to below my butt, crazy enough. And a lot of my hair started falling out and breaking off due to stress of, being sick during COVID, which was already a really difficult time, and then not understanding what was going on with my body. And a lot of roles played into losing my hair, medications that I was on, treatments that I was doing. So it was all just a lot for somebody so young. And I was trying all these different products and trying to figure out what was best for my hair, and nothing was really working. It was kind of just like products were targeting certain elements, but not everything that I needed, which is kind of why I created this product being all inclusive.
Mm.
I started creating this product about 3 years ago, and I've been testing it and using it on myself fully for probably a little over a year now. And my hair has had incredible growth. I filled in a lot of like gaps that I had in my hair. Overall, just like the health is better, my growth is better, and I'm still in treatment. So people are like, why is your hair not all the way down here? And, it's kind of like, well, I'm still dealing with the hair loss issues, but the product has definitely helped me come a very long way. So that's the why for this product. It definitely, is driven by my health and also wanting to help other people who could be dealing with the same issues, find a product that works for them and that's completely clean, completely organic, completely natural, has no sulfates or parabens. And a lot of the products on the market right now, companies are selling to bigger companies and, they're changing formulas and they're just not the best for your hair. And I wanted to create a product that was completely clean, and I knew that like if I'm using it on myself, it could be something that I could honestly promote to other people. And there just wasn't any other product on the market for me at the moment that was really gravitating or working for me. So I created my own. And yeah,
So I love this for you. That's number one. How old are you?
I'm 20. I'll be 21
20.
in June. Yes.
Okay. So with that in mind, you curated a product that's just not just for you, it's for others. And yours is not alopecia. Like you said, it's something medical, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So
I
would you?
suffer from migraines every day for the past 6 years.
Oh, okay. Now that you have Summer Hope Beauty, how does it help other people with a different hair type, with a different, with other things going on with their scalp?
Mhm. So the product can be used on any range of hair. I think a lot of people think that it's just for curls. My campaign had a lot of curly heads in it, but it is all inclusive. Curly hair was just the easiest thing for me to speak to. Depending on who you ask, my hair is between like 3B, 3C. It really just depends on like who you're asking. But I would say around the 3B range. And I also have friends who have 4C hair, like 1A hair, and they're all using the product. And they absolutely love it.
Mhm.
In terms of I'm not making a claim saying that it's going to cure alopecia. It's not something I can personally speak to, but I do know a lot of people who are using it to treat their hair issues. Um, and I mean, they've had great results just so far. And the brand launched February 1st, but I've had my friends and my closest people using the product for months. And that's kind of why I was able to make the campaign with people who I know could actually speak to the product. Everyone in my campaign was wearing the oil. And I think that that was like the misconception with the shoot, like, oh, you just picked people with already great hair. But it was like people who could genuinely speak to the product as well. But the main thing that I can speak to is that it helped with my hair loss. And my hair loss came from not only just stress, which is something a lot of people struggle with, but also, dealing with medications, making my hair fall out. So I don't have alopecia, so that's not something I can personally speak to.
Okay. One thing that I like about your hair care product, you use a staple of Black families everywhere, and that's bergamot. So,
Mhm.
how did you decide on what you use as the ingredients for the product?
So I have three different scents. I have warm vanilla sugar, bergamot, and eucalyptus. And I did a ton and ton and tons of research, and it was a lot of trial and error as well. Also, just looking at what other brands and companies were using and noticing how there was like a common trend in people using like jojoba oil, avocado oil, castor oil. Castor oil, like the research on that dates back hundreds of years and saying how it helps with hair growth and like the Jamaican black castor oil specifically. So it was really just a lot of trial and error with myself and a lot of research online and in books and just seeing like studies of what's worked in the past. Um, I think with anything, trial and error is the easiest way to figure out what works best. Everybody's hair type is different, but there are products that are universal and work for everyone. And that's the combination of ingredients that are in this oil.
Now, like you said, you had trial and error. So, what are some of the things that you considered when failing forward? What are those? What were those experiences like?
The experience is like the fails that I had.
Hmm.
I think it was either like the product being too greasy or the product just not giving me the shine and bounce that I needed. I really focus more on getting pretty ringlets versus volume.
Hmm.
I can pick out my hair and make it really big, but then, I have more frizz and don't have the tight curls that I really want. I recently did a video on my Instagram just showing people, how I've been using the product and I had my hair really, really puffed out, and they were like, how did you keep your ringlets defined? And it was really just like, it's the way that you use the oil. So
Right.
I just got out the shower, so my hair is a little damp still. And then I put the oil in. And then when I'm breaking the cast, which is like picking out my hair or diffusing it, after I'm done getting the volume that I need, I go back in with a couple drops of the oil and I just redefine my hair. And it doesn't bring down my volume, it doesn't shrink it. Um,
Hmm.
so it's really just about figuring out what your hair needs. Some people have high porosity hair, low porosity hair. So you really need to figure out what's going on with your crown in order to properly know how to use the product or any product in general. But people have been reaching out to me and asking me like, how am I supposed to use the product for my hair and what can I do to make my hair like yours? And I'd be lying to you if I said that like the curls weren't genetic because they are. A lot of times, the hair that people have is genetics. I'm not going to sit here and claim that you use the oil and you're going to have ringlets like me. Like, no, you're not. Like, your hair type is your hair type. But yeah, going back to the fails that I had, it was mainly about, figuring out how to not make the product too greasy, how to not make the product dry out my hair, how to not make the product be too heavy to the point where like it was weighing down my curls and that they were stretching. Some people like that effect, but me personally, I like a nice tight ringlet.
Right.
So it was more about removing ingredients, putting ingredients back in, and then also figuring out the combination of ingredients that make the perfect blend. And the product has so many properties. It has shine, it has, it helps with dandruff and dry scalp. I also suffer from eczema, so I have eczema in my scalp a lot of the time. So dealing with like, the breakage of the skin, I wanted a product that wasn't going to burn my scalp and also something that was going to hydrate and like help heal my scalp as well as the growth of my hair. So there are a lot of elements that I'm targeting and speaking to because I have a lot of hair issues. Um, so yeah, my fails definitely I experienced them myself, me just being like, this is a mess. Because I used to use a product that was strictly castor oil based, and castor oil alone is way too heavy on my hair. I think it brings your hair down. It's really thick. It's kind of goopy. I just wasn't the biggest fan, and I wanted an oil that felt really light. And that's why you can use the oil on straight hair as well, in moderation, of course. So I just had my hair straightened. I used a couple drops. It didn't make my hair look too greasy. It looked really good, gave me the shine that I needed, and also protected me from heat damage, which is really great as well.
I love that you took into consideration all of those things, and you experimented. You just didn't go off of one thing alone. So, with that, you have fragrances, like you said. So, how is the fragrances safe for your hair?
So the fragrances I use are all natural and all organic. They are the purest form. There's a lot of things going on with saying like fragrance is bad, fragrance is good. And the original base of the oil, the scent was very rose heavy from like the eucalyptus, I mean, from the hibiscus mixture. And it was really just about like in terms of the marketing aspect, people like something that smells good, but also is good for you. But the
Right.
product very, very small, like minuscule amount of fragrance. It goes a really long way because it's concentrated, but it's
Mm.
essentially an oil as well. The fragrance is like pure oil from like either the bergamot or eucalyptus or like a vanilla bean. So it's in the purest form. It's not like really artificial. Nothing's artificial in it.
Right. Okay. I love that. I like that you said it was a crown. Like, I mean, it is what it is, but just identifying it as a crown, and your whole brand is based around self-love, self-care. So why was that important?
I think that I've had a lot of issues. I'm not going to say issues with identity, but issues with kind of figuring out my place and where I fit in. And a big part of that came with like, growing up in environments where it was like I was kind of in the space where I was not white enough to be with the white kids and not dark enough to be with the black kids. So it was kind of like there were certain features about me that like kind of defined where I fit into a lot of people. The fact that I had super curly hair, I have, certain features on my face, like, okay, like, she's clearly black.
Right.
But also, kind of being like she's still teetering in a certain space. And for me, it was kind of just about figuring out my identity, not really caring about what people have to say. I know who I am. And my hair came and played a huge role in that. I used to have my hair straightened. I'm not going to say a lot, but I preferred my hair straight than I did curly for a very long time. And
Mhm.
I always like begged my parents, like, oh, can I have braids? Can I do this? Can I do that? And honestly, braids are great, but I have straight roots, so they do tend to slip. Like they don't necessarily last a long time in my hair. But my parents are just like, some, you have the most beautiful curls, like embrace them. And it took me so long to figure out, how to love myself and my curls and the hair that I had on my head. It was always a complaint. I want my hair a different color. It's too much to manage. It's this and that. And it was mainly like my parents instilling into me, like, love yourself as you are. And obviously, when I started dealing with my health and losing my hair, that was a lot for me, especially being a sophomore in high school, dealing with COVID, being away from people. I was already sad in itself. So then to start like losing a part of myself that I was just starting to love was a lot for me. Um,
Right.
and so I kind of created this brand around like learning how to love myself, learning how to love my hair, learning how to love my crown, because it is the one thing that I can control in a time where I felt like I couldn't. Because, you lose your hair and it's like it was out of my control. There was nothing I can do. I felt helpless. And so for me, it was like, how do I gain back control of my body? And, that's what the product was built on, just grabbing back everything I felt like was being taken away from me. And I always looked at my hair as like my crown because I wear it strong, I wear it tall. And, I just think it's such a beautiful thing in all forms. And I hate when people say, like, oh, my hair is so ugly, it's so this. No, you're beautiful exactly how you are. And I truly believe that, you know, your hair is what you make it. So if you want it to look a certain way, make it look a certain way. It's all trial and error. You can put your hair into any style that you want, there's so many things you could do. People do quick weaves, they do wigs, they do braids, they do leave outs, they do all these different things. You really have control of your head. But for me, it's more about embracing what I already have instead of trying to go out and get something that I don't have, because the one thing I do have control of is something that is already a part of me and attached to me.
See, you answered that so eloquently. So my next question is, I know that your parents are like the strongest humans you know and offer or have been consummate mentors in your life. But who else did you consult when deciding on this business plan? Did you mentor under someone where they said, hey, you need to write these things down, you need to do X, Y, and Z? And who were those top people?
Honestly, my mom has a huge like beauty team. There's a lot of different people in the space. I think that the main person that like I was trusting the most with my hair was Nikki B. She works with my mom a lot. I absolutely love her. She was definitely someone I looked to because she helped me figure out, how often I need to be trimming my hair. She was the only person I really trusted to put scissors to my head other than like going into a salon because, you get one bad cut and it's over.
Right.
But I wouldn't necessarily say that I was really consulting anyone. I kind of did everything like really under the rug. It was kind of like a surprise to everyone, but she did know that I wanted to go into that space. And same thing with one stylist my mom has worked with for several years who watched me grow up, Chucky. I've always looked at his work and how he works with natural hair. He's probably been doing my hair the longest. He was doing my hair before I can even remember since I was like this big. But I think honestly, like my main inspiration for my curly hair journey was probably my dad. When my mom was traveling a lot or like on the road, my dad would be the person who was like washing my hair and combing it out and putting it into buns and being like, son, like love your hair. So I think that it was really my dad. My dad used to do my hair a lot growing up. And my mom even posted a video of my dad. We were on vacation. My dad loves to put my hair into like a little top knot and bun and like play with my curls. So, both my parents are definitely my inspirations. And also like my mom's team and everyone she works with. But yeah.
Okay. Now, with that, you've done a soft launch, but has it released in totality yet?
The brand is completely, I'm doing strictly e-commerce. It's summerhopebeauty.com. That's where I'm selling from. We're almost 50% sold out of the stock that I currently have. It's actually doing really, really well. I did initially just do a launch like on social media and just say like to my supporters, like, hey guys, like it's out. But obviously in time, I'm doing more marketing and, gonna spread my wings more, but it's a business I started by myself, so I'm doing it in a nice slow release, nice slow way. But yeah, eventually we'll do like a huge press drop and everything like that. Also, when I have more products, I do plan on expanding the business, but right now it's just hair oil, so everything in due time.
Everything in due time. I like that when you made this product, you took into consideration that it's not just for biracial humans, it's also for any hair type. That's number one. My granddaughter is actually biracial, so I'm like, okay, I might have to come and I might have to get something from you. So what would you recommend for an 8-year-old biracial kid?
I think that in terms of scent, all the products are the same list of ingredients. The only thing that's different is the scent. My favorite is the warm vanilla sugar. I think it's fun. I think it's light. I think it reminds me of like being a kid and like, like it was like the little cutesy things. Like kids love things that smell like a Skittle or like a candy. So the warm vanilla sugar is definitely my favorite. I think it's fun. I think it's young. I just feel like it has a really sweet smell, and I get the most compliments wearing the warm vanilla sugar. So I would say like the younger people are definitely gravitating towards the warm vanilla sugar. The bergamot is doing really well in the male space, and the eucalyptus is very like adult, very fresh. I think it's my mom's favorite scent at the moment, I believe.
The eucalyptus?
Yeah, I think she's really into that one.
Well, I may try one. I'm not sure what because I have thin hair. So once these braids come out, we're gonna have to do something about it. And
Even in braids, you can use the product too, which is really great. In any style, you can definitely use them. You can put them on your roots, massage them in a little bit. I mean, your braids might, go away a little quicker because the new growth, but it's definitely great for that too.
I don't think I have a problem with new growth. I have a problem with hair. As you get older, one day you'll find out. But pray you don't, like in your early 40s. Um, but I will try your product to see how it fares with my hair because I am a fan of bergamot for sure. I grew up on that, and that helped me when I was a child. So if you know about bergamot, I trust you. Now,
Thank you.
you're welcome. So, what are your mentors saying about your product now that you've launched and you have buyers?
Mhm. Honestly, the response that I've been getting is really, really great. I haven't heard, they say that with anything, you get hate and you get whatever, but honestly, I've had such a positive response to this product and it's making me really, really happy because I poured so much into this brand and it was definitely a risk.
Mm.
But the results that I've been getting are so great. I'm getting messages and people are commenting like, I love it so much. One day at a time, it's going to change your hair. I think with hair oil, people need to understand that it's not immediate results. It's something with consistency. It's not just something you put in your hair and your hair is automatically going to be a 30-inch bust down. Like it's just not realistic. But it's a product with consistency. So as long as you're consistent with it, it'll be consistent back with you. Um, and even the people that I looked up to, my mentors and everything, they love it and they're saying that it's an amazing product and they're using it on their clients and they're going to continue to, let me know how it's doing for their hair. And I told people as well, like, take pictures of your hair before and after and send them in. I want to see your guys' journey because just as rewarding as it was for me to gain back my confidence, I want to see that result for other people. And I definitely pride myself on this product being like, it's not like I just worked with a company and slapped my name on something. It's something that I built and something that I worked for, and something that I put my trust and faith into. And so I just hope that, everyone, has a positive response and reaction to the product, especially as the brand is going to continue to grow into shampoos and conditioners and masks. I just hope the brand continues to be a light for a lot of people who are dealing with dark things.
I love that. Now, and my last question, or multi question, is two questions. Where can viewers follow you, and where can they purchase the hair oil?
They can purchase it at www.summerhopebeauty.com. And then on almost all of my socials, it's Summer Hope Chamblin. And then the beauty page is Summer Hope Beauty. Everything's kind of my name. So if you put in Summer Hope, Summer Chamblin, it's all going to come up around there.
I actually do have one more question. How does it feel that you are now in that mentorship space?
Honestly, it feels kind of crazy. I got a call yesterday too. It was pretty funny. Of one of my friends had bought the product. I didn't even know. I didn't even know. I was like, oh my God, that's so sweet. And they were just like, how do I use the product? How do I get into this space? Because they've always been into beauty. And it was just weird to like for people to be like, hey, I'm like really inspired by your journey and by your strength. Obviously, because people didn't know that I was dealing with health issues. It was something that I kept very quiet because I just, mentally wasn't ready to speak on something that I'm still currently dealing with. It's a lot to be so vulnerable with an audience who watched you grow up and how everyone kind of feels like they know me and I'm everyone's like internet niece. So it was just a vulnerable space to be in. So now that I'm like out about it, everyone's like, wow, you're so strong, this is such an insane journey, I'm so excited to see what you're doing. And they're coming to me and asking me questions about how to get into the space. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just crazy because I'm new to this space as well, but I also have so much knowledge based on like the research and years of being in the space. I'm excited to help people and to be, that person that like my friends or even like adults can lean on. It's so funny when an adult says to me, like, I want to be you when I grow up. And they're like, they've already grown up, but it's just so sweet. And I don't know, it's an overwhelming amount of emotions for me.
Well, congratulations. I can tell you right now, you are more mature than the average 47-year-old, and I'm 47. And I
Thank you.
cannot answer questions in the manner that you are so precise and concise with and sure of what you say. Like you're super confident as a business owner at such a young age. So, congratulations.
Thank
Um,
you.
you're welcome. And I want you to drop that website information one more time.
It's www.summerhopebeauty.com.
Thank you so much. And I will buy it and I will tag you in it. And when I get it for my granddaughter, I'm going to let her mom tag you in it as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.